Hello, and welcome to the Learning English Fast podcast. I'm your host, Eli. Thank you so much for watching me or listening to me today. As a reminder, before we go into the topic, that there is a transcript down below for any of you who want to practice your English while watching me or listening to me. And also, I have a special one on one English course for any of you who want to level up your English to become more confident. All right, so today's a very special episode because it is episode 30, which is a good number, but also I finally have 1,000 subscribers on the channel. Yay! There's no one here around me, only me. But I'm so happy to all of you and so thankful for any of you who watched and who listened and who subscribed. And I know those of you who subscribe to me, those of you who are watching me, that you want to learn English. You want to level up your English. You want to increase your listening level. So I'm so thankful that you took time just to watch me and to listen. I feel so special, you know? I never would have imagined that 1,000 of you would be interested in listening to me or, just to hear my voice because I'm not like a special guy. Oh, my hair's kind of bad. I'm not like a special guy. I'm just someone from the small town of Wisconsin in America. And now I live in Japan. Well, it's horrible. Oh my, yeah. And I just want to, share some of my English knowledge with you and just my experiences. Yeah, so I just want to share about like why I really started this channel. It's like, how do I say? Like, I'm not, when I first started, my goal is not to have a lot of subscribers. It's not to have a lot of people watch me or listen to me. My goal was just to share about English because I've been teaching English for more than 6 years. And so many of my students, they would always tell me like their weakest area is listening and speaking, of course, but listening for them was very hard. They can speak maybe some good English, but when they would listen to English conversations, they could never grab anything. And so actually, I started this channel because of my wife and because of those students, like the students for their listening, but my wife just for her idea. She said, Eli, you speak very well. I think you should start a channel. And at first, I was thinking, no, I don't think so. Like, who would want to listen to me? But she gave me the idea. So I started, why? I'm like, why not? Okay. And so I really have to thank my wife because she's really the one who really pushed, she really gave me the kick in the butt that I needed to start this channel. And so I'm so thankful for her. And I think that learning English and English listening, it's so important, because I think podcasts are so useful because when I'm learning Japanese, I listen to Japanese podcast. When I was learning Chinese, I listened to Chinese podcast. And those podcasts really helped me to be able to learn the language and to be able to understand more and more. Because I would just, listen and I would rewind and listen again and again and again until I understood what the person was speaking about. And so I think maybe you guys can use this podcast too for your own, English learning. That's what I hope you use it for this way. And so I wanted to do something special for today's video. What did I want to do? Ma, nothing too crazy. Like some people do, like, 1,000, I'll eat 1,000 candy bars, or I'll eat, I'll do 1,000 things. But for me, I don't have any special, plan. I don't have any special, like, 1,000 thing. All I can just say is thank you. And I value you all so much. And for this, I guess, 1,000th episode, I just want to, just talk about, I guess, my own personal journey to become an English teacher. That's a good idea. So when I first went to India, because I left, America to go to India for a year, and at that time I had no English teaching experience, and I never really thought I could teach this language. But in India, I went up to the Buddhist area. There's this huge Buddhist temple, and we did some just English conversations with the Buddhist monks. And at that time, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought, oh, it's fun. I can share some English stories with them or whatever. But when I was talking with them, and they were so thankful for me just talking with them and sharing my story. And they said, Eli, we're so thankful that your English is easy to understand. And no one told me that before, because actually, when I was very young in America, I had a speaking problem, I couldn't pronounce the R sound. I couldn't say it. Like instead of saying, for example, instead of the word car, I would say the word ka. Like my R would be like the W sound, w. Instead of the word red, I would say wed, wed. My shirt is wed. I couldn't pronounce the R. So my parents sent me to these special classes where a teacher would teach me how to use my tongue to make the sounds for the language and for the R sound. And so no one told me they appreciated my voice because even now, when I speak, I still have to remember, okay, move my tongue back, to make the sounds for R. And so I think it actually was something good because it made my natural speaking easier to understand for non-native speakers. And so after that in India, I then went back to America for a month and I went to Taiwan. And when I was in Taiwan, I did some more English teaching, but not as like a job, just like volunteer. And I discovered that I enjoy it so much. And maybe I'm good at it. Maybe, I don't know. And I taught this child, this little girl, and her mom wanted me to teach her daughter. And I got no money for that. The payment was food because her mom owned a cafe. So her mom would give me like quiches and cakes and food for the payment. And I was happy with that. And after that, when I went back to the US, I was thinking, I like teaching English, but how can I make that a career? So online, I found a TEFL certificate online because I'm like, I don't want to go to a whole school for this. And I took this 160-hour online course. It took me a long time, actually, maybe a few days. Just every day I would just do a little bit until I finished the 160 hours. And then I finally started teaching English on italki. italki. Do you guys know? italki is a language learning platform for those who want to practice languages and want to have a native speaker teach them. At the beginning, italki was just like a language exchange like application, but now the focus is just teaching. And at that time, I remember my first student. She was from Thailand, right? And I remember the first class, I was so nervous. At that time as well, my computer, very old computer, this was in 2017, all right? So like an old computer, the camera quality not good at all, a bad like microphone, headphone, and I remember I was so nervous, but she became like my first and my longtime student, my first student on italki. And from there, I started teaching more and more and more and more. And now here I am, having a YouTube channel with 1,000 subscribers. And I still teach English on the side. Of course, this YouTube is not my full-time job. And I teach English still on italki and some other places as well. And now here I have my own personal, you know, uh, like my own personal English classes. For those of you who really want to level up, please talk with me. I want to see you grow. And yeah, and so I'm so thankful that I'm here, and I love teaching English. I love teaching. I love seeing people grow up in their English. Like like they start at a low level, I love seeing them grow. I love seeing them get confidence. I love, seeing their English become more smooth when I talk with them. And usually the students, they don't notice. They don't think, I grew. But actually, they did. They did. Like one student I spoke to today, I've been teaching him for the past 4 months, right? And at the beginning, when we first spoke, his English not that good, like not smooth, not clear. But after about 4 to 5 months, we can hold good conversations. He can understand so much more. And so I tell him like, "Hey, your English improved." But he doesn't believe me. I'm like, "No, it's true." So I think for those of you who are learning, have more confidence in yourself. Have more confidence in your English. Don't say sorry for your English. Have confidence. Your English is not that bad, all right? So anyway, thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy to continue, to practice English and to share my life and my stories with you all. Please, if you have like any ideas or stories you want me to share, please write them down in the comments and I'll try to do them as soon as possible. And I look forward to, maybe speaking with some of you on my English course down in the description. But anyway, keep doing your best. Keep learning English, all right? And I will see you later. Bye bye.